welcome and happy Monday to you. As you're joining me, do say hello and let me know where you're checking in from. And my name is Chiko Matenda, and I am based in the UK. Fortunately, today it is sunny, and I'm going to be talking about time management, especially if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you're just starting up your business, or you're already in business. And time management can apply across the board. So hopefully, even if you're in a working environment, this might help you as well. So it's based on things that I myself have applied and learned over time in order to maximize better opportunities in establishing my life business and to keep it going as well on a daily basis with the motivation and enthusiasm. So you've landed on the CFM Elite Lifestyle Business platform, and I mainly talk about lifestyle business matters as well as social media and marketing as a means to be more innovative and to help you with your startup and business growth as well. So, one area that I came across when I was coaching people was the struggle with time management, how it was challenging to balance work life and then to also be a startup at the same time. And the areas that I'm going to explore with you, it's about keeping an open mind. It's also for educational information purposes, and then applying it according to your own mechanism, as we are all from, like, we learn in different ways. So the first one is about mindset matters. It's looking at what kind of messages do you on a daily basis tell yourself about time management. What, are they positive or are they negative? And are there ways that you can change that so that you can influence your mind to start thinking in a different way and to think of it in a form of like abundance, so that you can then appreciate every minute that you've got. When you think of the word like, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I'm too caught up with such and such, that creates the mechanism not to allow yourself any space to have any possibility of creating anything else. So it's thinking about, I don't have that specific time at this precise moment, but how can I maximize on other things that I'm doing? So that's the next thing that I'll be talking about. And then the number two is looking at self-limiting beliefs. Is there something, some form of narrative that you're telling yourself every single day about your abilities and capabilities and your skills, to the point that you limit yourself from being able to actualize what you want to actualize? So you don't get that motivated to, for instance, start up your business or to achieve tasks that you know you need to be getting on with. Self-limiting beliefs are a narrative that you may have been carrying for yourself from childhood to young adulthood and to adulthood, and have made it to be true. But in some time, when you like assess it and review it, you might also believe that, you might also start to notice that some of those things that you might say to yourself are not 100% accurate, and they might be coming from a place of fear, a place of fear to actually step out and go out there. So you might substitute your time with other things that are not getting you closer to your goals. So for instance, we think, oh, our time is limited. So that's going to be the next one I'm going to talk about, is how do you maximize your time, especially if you are creating these barriers for yourself. Innately, inadvertently, you might not even be aware of this, but it's being aware of your actions and intentions on a daily basis. Is that, how well are my actions serving me? And am I limiting myself by not completing specific tasks? Am I avoiding something specific? Then moving on to number three is about, how can you then start to create the time and the space? So the things that you might be limiting yourself from achieving, you might be putting something in place, like for instance scrolling down on social media while you know inwardly that you need to be doing specific tasks, but you're avoiding it because you feel like it might be a challenge, it might not work out anyway. So again, that's that narrative. So when you are aware of that, then you do when you awaken to that, then you do have the opportunity to then start to shift your mindset and to tell yourself, okay, let me go off this thing that I'm doing that's passing my time, but it's not producing the results that I'm doing. What can I put in place instead that will get me closer to my goals? Okay, so social media, is it worth scrolling for half an hour? Could you then use that time that's creating that space to use it as a vehicle for following your life vision and fulfilling your life purpose? Then it could also be that you're procrastinating in other ways. It's more about listing down everything that you believe you procrastinate on. So naturally, we are not procrastinators. It's something that you grow into. And you might use the words, I'm a natural procrastinator. No, we all make choices, and the narrative that you use, the mindset that you use, might influence how much time you maximize or how much time you limit yourself from achieving specific goals. So I hope this is making sense. Okay, because I have been there in the past before, where I used to work in a hectic environment, fast paced, and by the time I finished work, I was like really exhausted in my mind. And yes, I was doing a lot of things, and I used to think I don't have the time to invest it. But when my need for my life vision became more urgent, then I started to change little things. And these little things are things that I'm also mentioning. It was my daily dialogue to myself, the words that I used. If I say I'm exhausted, then I will start to believe that I am exhausted. But if I use different, this is just examples, but if I use different terminology, then it will help me to um, create another form of like energy in order to invest in myself. So the things that I started to switch up with my language, I also found ways to create time when I said I didn't have time. So the time existed. So for instance, if I didn't have my lunch hour, which was usually the case, I decided to maximize on my lunch hour, move away from my desk, and go either to like a cafeteria or go for a walk and listen to podcasts. Okay, so and all of a sudden I had the time. And you also find in emergency situations, you will have the time to create the space for yourself, because it does not give you that opportunity to believe in the excuses that we create for ourselves. So it's about tough love, especially if intuitively you're feeling that now this is your time to give yourself the opportunity to invest in what you've always visualized in being able to achieve. Then number 4 is, if you're already a business owner, even if you're just starting off, it's always thinking about in an innovative and creative way about letting your business work on your behalf rather than you working in your business. So you want to create a business where you have a 360 overview from like above. Just imagine like being in a okay, so that was interesting. My stream was interrupted and now I am resuming. So I hope what I've recorded before is still there, but if not, then I'll the things that I talked about if you're struggling with time, you're an aspiring entrepreneur or business owner, and you're looking to make that shift to be able to maximize on your time. So I talked about mindset matters, self-limiting beliefs, and also maximizing on the time that you have available. And I was going to move on into, can you maximize on automated systems? So what I'll do is I'll just summarize some of the points that I discussed. These are areas that I myself previously struggled with, and then I decided to shift my mindset. So that was number 1. It's about shifting your mindset to allow yourself the opportunity to be able to fulfill your life vision. So when it comes to mindset, which links to self-limiting beliefs, it's thinking about, is there a narrative that you've been carrying endlessly from like childhood to adulthood, where you have told yourself negative things or self-limiting beliefs that have not enabled you to actualize your truest potential? You might be telling yourself narratives that you've heard from other people, from family members, from people you're surrounded with, which can be negative, but without actually knowing fully that they're negative. So it's about exploring and being open to self-development, looking at what are the daily narratives that you use. Are they positive or are they negative? So for instance, if you're saying you're too busy or you have this and that to do, is that an accurate reflection, or in the back of your mind, are you using it as a means of an avoidance? I have done that. I used to do that before. So when you awaken to those thoughts where you believe intuitively that you're telling yourself that little lie, then you have the opportunity, should you wish, especially if you're wanting to thrive more, it's about challenging yourself to then look at how you can then change that belief so that it becomes something that's a positive vehicle, a more positive vehicle to enable you to maximize on time. So that was number three. So you, for instance, you might be maximize on time is about, you might be scrolling on social media for endless hours, or you might be doing things you know that they're diverting you from what you actually want to be able to achieve, and you're aware of this in the back of your mind. Then it's about, when you awaken to that, can you challenge yourself to say, okay, now stop this activity because it's not bringing me the rewards that I'm looking for. It's not steering me towards the life vision that I've intended for myself. These things that are there, they're always going to be there. You have every single day the opportunity to maximize on you being the person who is your own vehicle, so that other people are like, oh, what is this person up to? So you create that curiosity rather than being the observer of other people. And you also create a vehicle that is about educating others. Okay, so if you are in a business and you're struggling in this area, it's also thinking about, which was number four that I talked about, is automating systems. So automating systems is about enabling yourself the opportunity to, when you're starting your business, always think about what is the next best innovative thing that I can do that can enable me to have more free time, that it can enable me to be more of a creator and somebody who's connecting with my clients, knowing what their needs are. What you want to be able to do is have a business where you have a 360 overview. So you're not working in your business, you're working on your business. When you work in your business, you are most likely to be caught up in the daily operations, and then your learning process minimizes because you are firefighting. So in order to minimize those areas, examples are, you could automate some of your systems and processes so that those are working on your behalf. And then if you've also got the financial capability to do too, you can also look at, is there any part of the business that you can outsource? So if your strongest area, or the area that you spend more time on, let's say sales or admin, can you outsource the sales to people who are experts in the field and let them do that on your behalf, doing all the chasing up, the following up, and you creating the content and also addressing your clients' needs, and being that influencer within your specific influencer, as in terms of a thought. I say, yeah, a thought authority. I'm mixing those words up, but I think you might know what I mean. Okay, so it's being somebody who's coming from a place of being well versed in what your business is about, and also being more versed in what your clients' needs are. And then that's the sales part. The admin part, you could also outsource specific projects, tasks that you do repetitively, admin tasks that you know take up most of your time. Could you outsource to a virtual assistant, for instance? That's the great thing about being online, is that there are people out there. And in the past, I've done that as well. When I used to do coaching, and it was like from Monday, sometimes the whole week was filled up with like coaching, and there were some admin tasks that I delegated to virtual assistants to assist me on my behalf, such as like the follow-up emails, making the calls, arranging appointments. These are just the examples. So it's looking at things where you think this might be taking my time away from being somebody that I want this space to be able to create. Now you have those moments. But if you're not at that stage either, something that came to mind is when I was working, I used to not take my lunch consistently, my lunch hour, and I used to admire some of like the frontline staff and even like managers on the same level, some of them who were committed to their lunch hour and they went out regardless or took it. And there I was with my lunch at the table. And if you're one of those, put your hand up. So the commitment I made to myself was my lunch hour is going to be my lunch hour no matter what. I'm going to take the time, either walk for half an hour, then it will refresh my mind, and then also learn in the process, learn something new that I was in relation to digital marketing. So this was an area that I identified that I needed to learn more about, and that's an area that I was interested in. So once you've identified that area, it's about the continuous, creating the space for continuous learning and development. Just because you have created your business, it doesn't mean that you stop learning. Okay, but it's about moving to the point where you are creating time for yourself, creating a lifestyle business. So the areas that I talked about, to summarize, are the mindset matters and self-limiting beliefs, challenging yourself a little bit more every day on your narrative. Is it positive or is it negative? Is it influencing you in the way that you want, and moving you in the direction towards your life vision, or is it impeding you in the direction? Even if the narrative is coming from somebody else, it's about looking within, working from within and out, because other people, they're living their life as according to their own version. If somebody else is telling you something and you start to believe it, then you're buying into something that is within you, a self-limiting belief. Then looking at ways to challenge yourself in terms of maximizing the time when you know that you're stealing time away from yourself by doing tasks that are passive, that are not bringing you the rewards that you want. It's about when you awaken to that and training your mind to awaken to it, then you now have the chance and the opportunity to step up and take control of your time, to use it to the best of as much as you can. Time can be 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you name it. It is just about creating that routine. From you can start from 5 minutes, increase it all the way up until you are doing something that becomes a routine. Then lastly, what I talked about was leveraging of automated systems and human resources to help you to have a 360 overview over your business, so that you also have the opportunity to be connecting with your ideal customers, to know what is their specific need and what solution you can then provide based on what you're hearing, whether it be online or offline. So I hope you have found my video of value, and do connect with me by leaving comments. If you've got any questions, any area that you're struggling with, leave a comment below my video. I'll follow up with everybody, even if it's just hello, I'm checking in from such and such a country. That will be fabulous. And if you believe that somebody else can take away something from what I've shared, then do feel free to press the share button, and also remember to subscribe to my channel so that you are kept up to date with anything new that I might share that might be of value over to you. Okay, so I'm going to sign off for now.